Perhaps one of the most fascinating illustrations of how man-made things constitute cosmologies is money. As instruments of the state and market, banknotes carry synthetic value and delimit territories. Currency conversion is an act of translation that is the groundwork for a global contemporary. The circulation, currency, and use of money marks belonging through participation in an economy or a community. Chong Kim Chiew's series of banknotes explores these tenors. Using paper, paint, tape, and in one work, sand, Chong appropriates the iconography of historical Malayan and Malaysian banknotes, foregrounding in this process how pieces of paper or plastic articulate value in its histories. In one part of the exhibition, Chong presents a series of studies that started his banknote series. Two works allude to the Japanese occupation of Malaya from 1941 to 1945. Purple for a cent and red for 5 cents. The notes carry pretty straightforward designs, texts declaring their provenance and their monetary value, a flourish of filigrees as borders. A murky painting application textures the banknotes. Pigment bleeds into and blurs the text. Stylistic gestures that recur in the series. Another study references the Malaya and British Borneo dollar, which for a time was used in Malaya, and then in Malaysia, Singapore, Brunei, and even in the Riau archipelago in Indonesia. This time the artist has incorporated paper cuttings, adding character and dimension to the appropriated currency. Much of the textual and iconographic elements of the banknote is obscured by what seems like an aggressive overlapping of pigments, from a bluish-gray to black to a stain of yellow to a grayed-out area where a sailboat is moored. From these studies on paper, the last banknote by Chong included in the exhibition is one of the actual works in the series. The currency is a $1 note exclusively used from 1935 to 1938 in the Sungai Buloh settlement, a leper colony in Selangor in British Malaya. While the studies annotate histories of occupation, colonialism, and even the interconnections of states and regions, the Sungai Buloh dollar marks a distinction between forms of life. Because leprosy transmission was initially imagined to occur through interactions, surfaces, and objects, leper colonies used special kinds of currencies, which functioned as cash vouchers. The currency was very scarce and was not accounted for in early numismatic catalogs. The work uses a canvas base on which strips of paper painted in acrylic mark out the note's design. English, Chinese, Arabic, and Tamil scripts denote the instrument's value. A kingfisher is perched on a rock, and in the horizon it is dawn. The banknotes were burned in a bonfire in 1938, after having proven that they were not carriers of leprosy. We see in the circulation of the Sungai Buloh dollar not only how currency distinguishes forms of life, marking the colony's inhabitants and their condition, but also how money becomes a world constituting virtue, enclosing and disclosing worlds.